Boom. Boom. What's going on, man? How you doing? How is everybody? But before everybody answers, Greg, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. Just chilling like a villain,
9-8 submission. I just saw it on your story. So if everybody wants to go check that out, you just hit gold with all your 9-8s. Congratulations, by the way. That's an impressive 9-8s that you got, especially that last one. I won't ruin it for people, but that last book, especially with how I feel about spec and all that stuff, that's definitely a good one to have, especially because it's a 1 in 50, if I remember correctly, right?
No, I think it was the distribution on that is weird. I think it was only released in the Detroit area as some sort of promotional or shops there only.
Shit, okay. So even better because there's probably less, but that's amazing, man. Happy New Comic Book Day Eve. Happy if you missed it. I think there was a Mandalorian season 3 trailer that dropped. Season 3 is hitting the screens in March. So I've got about a month and a half to kind of get watching those two because I do want to give some Star Wars reviews. I want to make sure that I know exactly what everybody's talking about when it comes to that. But yeah, Ant-Man, it's a pretty quiet in the sense of trailers or anything like that. Adam Warlock had a picture release, so people went crazy over a picture. So if you're into space Jesus, you're probably going crazy. But yeah, man. You ready for today? New Comic Book Day?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Do you have anything in particular? Do you have any honorable mentions? Do you have anything that maybe, there's a book that you are definitely going after heavy this week?
So the watchers don't necessarily know how the show's put together. So Newbie puts together the show, and I just roll with it. So I have no
Damn right. You're damn right.
When he puts me in these situations and asks what I'm going for, I'll say something. He'll be like, "Oh, you ruined one of my slides." So I'll save my honorable mentions for the end.
All right. Okay. There's a few first appearances as always, but then again, I think there's like Star Wars High Republic coming out. But yeah, we've got a good show. It's only us two today because our third amigo, Mr. Blakk Crown Comics, decided to go to a hockey game. He went to go see the Winnipeg Jets at Montreal Canadiens, and he basically only gave us 24-hour notice. So I hope he's having a horrible time because in the Newbieverse, you definitely need to give 48-hour notice. That's just how we work here.
Hashtag Canadian priorities.
Right? Like, you guys going to hockey, man. Come on. So
there's like loge seats at the Habs game. Like, it's not the worst.
Yeah. So, but all kidding aside, I hope he's having a good time. I'm actually going to the Leafs Rangers game next week, so I'm excited. But yeah, it's just us two, and it's not like that's a bad thing. But we're definitely gonna be talking New Comic Book Day, and of course, new comic book news. And then we are going to be talking about two important things that just happened: one, record breaker, and two, breaking news exclusive that you're only going to hear today. And no, I'm not having an exclusive. I'm not, sponsored by whatnot or anything like that.
I'm so excited for NewbieCon.
Yeah, and I don't have a NewbieCon coming, but I do have some exciting news at the end of the show, so stick around. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat before we start. Some guy named Newbie Gold for a friend. Does it count if it's for a friend? I think so.
Depends who the friend is.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? I'm a generous guy. My birthday's coming up in June, so I figured, you know what? Let's share the wealth. RP, you got the gold, man.
My birthday's coming up in June.
Hey,
like a 4-year-old.
Hey, it still counts. It still counts
as age in half years.
Dan Delatorre is taking home the silver, and Michael Baker is taking home the bronze, which means 1 out of 3 are Canadian. So at least a Canadian is taking home a medal. Mr. Empire Comics is in the house. What's going on, sir? AOA, B Newbie, and Rocksteady. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty cool. What up? Mr. Swaggle House is in the house. Go check out his last video, which I didn't get the invite for. Somebody had told me that they were going to be talking about metrics and weather, so maybe it's a good thing that I wasn't invited. I don't know. But go check out Swaggle House's latest video. Great guy in the community and always has up-to-date stuff. So make sure you go check him out. Mr. Wesley's in the house, one half of the Future Specs. Mr. North 49 and Delatorre. I actually bought new comics today and Sunday. So far, so good. Nice.
Ooh, the tides of
Comic
time.
Journey. Good evening, gentlemen and gentlewomen and gentle gender neutrals. Yeah. I mean, it's 2023.
Hello, all.
Yeah. Hello, all. That's, even better. It's Canada Live. My brother. Fuck the Celtics. Just Cruz. Big Celtics guy. So I always have to throw that in there. Pikil, it's now official. I'm the third greatest lover in the world. I'm probably like 19th or something. I don't know. Street Side Anthony's in the house.
19th on your street.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Thanks for having my back, man. Thanks for having my back. Who watches the shitty Habs anymore? He's in Montreal. He's a Kings fan. So
yeah,
that's what it is. Face red, heart shape. Kenneth is in here. Hi to everybody. Mr. Vancouver Comic Junkies in the house. What's going on? Oh, boys. He's keeping it hip with the Z. What's going on? Orzi, we got some Americans in here. So, all right, well, let's get it going.
Man.
Yeah, I am definitely not up to date with slang. The younger people at work are usually always talking, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, don't you know? It's like, it means this. And I'm like, why don't we just say it's good then? Like, it's good. We don't have to add like 19 words just to say it's good. So
do you get a lot of that Toronto slang where they all talk like,
oh yeah.
Weird Drake?
Yeah. Like waste man. And I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's one thing we don't get in Edmonton.
Yeah, it's true. When I was there, yeah. But let's get it going. Pick up my Fantastic Four 48. Listen, man, here's the thing. I want to put it out there. Punch is one of like day one when I first started YouTube. He's a great guy. He always, we always talking comics here and there. He's always posting like crazy stuff. I posted like my wish list, and he has a Fantastic Four 48 7.0. So you can imagine that as much as I want to pull the trigger on that, it's like, ooh, I do want to buy other stuff for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try to see what happens, but
you only have like 2 weeks left to get on there.
I know, but one I won't get. Like, there's no way I get New Funny 66. Like,
well, not if you talk that way. You got to manifest.
There's 6 on the census. The one thing that I like about this book is the fact that when I post the book or when I talk about the book, 98% of people are like, the fuck is that? What is that?
I only know because of you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like you would think it's a good thing for me. However, there's only 6 on the census. It's an old ass book, and it is an ugly book. Like, it's a blue panda book, like blue outline, and then there's just a big ass panda in the middle that looks like I drew it, and it's just like garbage. No disrespect to the creator or the artist of that panda, just so we'll see. Sup, new bot. Ooh, okay, all right, I like it. It's lit up in here. This food is busting, no cap on God. See, I don't know what that means. Like, he's probably saying, hey, newbie, nice hair, for all I know. Like,
I dare Wes to go talk like that downtown.
Anybody going to the Toronto show February 19th? Yes, I will be there.
And hold on. Who's going to the show on March 18th?
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm going to that show too.
I'm going. So I will see you guys in Toronto for that one.
Yeah, Rocksteady will be there, so that's going to be exciting. I was going to make it a breaking news exclusive, but thanks, Rocksteady.
That's not it, is it?
I mean, it could have been, but now I have to like improvise, so we'll see. Okay, only shows I'm going to this year are Niagara Falls and Terrificon. Wes, me and Greg are going to Terrificon, so we will talk to you if you need a ride or whatever. We do require a $300 deposit Canadian. We also require 2 slab 9.6s or higher as a deposit as well. But we'll talk. Anybody who thinks I was being serious there. I was just kidding. All right, Greg, you ready, brother?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, show 113. We're getting close to that 200 people. It's just a matter of 87 weeks to go, and then we'll be there. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm ready, man. There's a few DC this week you should be on the lookout for. So yeah, like I said, show 113. First up, we got some channel sponsors. So Back in Time Comics in Brantford, CGC authorized dealer. He's got an app. Go check it out. Definitely go check out his Facebook as well, because he does do flaker sales, live sales, claim sales, all that stuff. And he is great to deal with. He's a good guy. He's also got like autographed like sports memorabilia, comics, toys, action figures, cards. And yes, you heard it. He's also got candy. He's got a great selection of candy, because usually when I go, I take 2 steps in and then 3 steps left, because that's where the airheads are and all the candy. So I always go there first. But definitely a good shop. The app, he's on Instagram as well. So make sure you guys go check out Mr. Brandon at Back in Time Comics. And of course, my guy, who I hope I'm going to be dropping off some books for him to press and clean for me later this week. But Mr. Bleeker, Mr. AKA the Champ, on Tony Sanders' channel as well. So go check him out on there. But $10 a press, $5 a clean. Instagram, Bleeker St Comics. Just go check him out. Streetside Anthony, New Funny 66 is one of my favorite comics. I'm a huge Felix the Cat fan, and I picked one up about 10 years ago. Oh, man. I really need one. Like, I need to get me one. I need to. I don't know. I think that one's going to be harder to get than Tales of Suspense 39 for me. All right, Greg, there's shocking news in this show that I don't think you're ready for.
I'll sit down.
There's no Dynamite pick of the week this week. 0. No, none.
Whoa.
Yeah. So anybody just watching for that, you're probably like, oh, well, that's a big bust. I waited till 9:52 p.m. Eastern time, and there's no Dynamite. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Tim isn't here.
Yeah. So I apologize. All right, let's get into the real show though. First up, we got a miniseries premiere, Immortal Surgeon. Looks really messed up. Award-winning I Kill Giants storyteller Joe Kelly. So from Deadpool, Savage Spider, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. Here's why. Because I kind of got a little excited for this one for the same reasons that I got excited for Black Cloak. And then people like Justin were like, hey, man, I bought that book on your reference and it was garbage. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little on the fence about it. I'm going to check it out. I'm trying to check out like different things per se. You know what I mean? Like this year, like I kind of, as much as I'm going after grails, there's certain things that I'm also like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. You never know, whatever. No spec, no investment, just story reading. But $3.99. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's on your radar, if it's a pass, if it's a big, but I'm going to check it out.
So Ken Nimura is the name that stands out to me on there. He's written some pretty good stuff, award-winning stuff, like it says here. I don't think it's a bad guy. It's probably going to be a good read. I have faith in this book, but you know, spec is dead, so get it to read it kind of deal.
Spec is dead. Spec is so 21, man. It's 23. Yeah. 23 is a different world. It's keys. But yeah, I'm going to check it out. I know that might surprise people. Like, whoa, newbie reading comics. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. But I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot.
Reading? That's crazy.
Yeah. What? You need to read? Yeah, no. But I'm going to check it out. I don't know. We'll see where it's at. I'm not throwing or pumping and trying to dump this book at all. I literally have one copy. That's it. And I'm going to read it. So it's already not a 9.8. All right, next book up, we got a first appearance of Grudge in a, you know what, I'll say it. It's a dope ass Bane cover. Not really big, guys. You know me, I'm not really the biggest in the Batman genre. I know it's gonna lose some points with a few people. I'm also not the biggest Bane fan. I enjoyed Tom Hardy's adaptation of it in the movie. I just could do, I don't know, Kind of grew up with a lot of juice heads in high school, so maybe that is kind of the thing that makes me remind, I don't know, something, but never been a really big Bane fan. But this one's a dope cover. Again, first appearance as well. But in today's comic weekly, I mean, that happens all the time. Greg, you a fan of the first Grudge?
I'm a fan of this book. I like the trade dress on it. That's classic Batman. I really like what they're doing with their variants. So this one has some really sweet ratios as well. Even the B cover, I really like what DC is doing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Bane has a following. One of the major Batman villains. So to get a spinoff, I don't think is crazy. And first appearance in it, not a bad grab, in my opinion.
Now, do you know any information on this Grudge character? Like, I don't know anything.
I have barely any information on Bane. I really don't watch or know anything about DC.
All right. Well, that makes two of us.
Because we just got the daughter of Bane, did we not?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, possibly. I mean, Batman stuff or DC in general. I mean, weren't we like almost at a Star Wars High Republic vibe for like 6 months? It seemed like every book that came out just had like 3-4 fucking first appearances. I mean, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like.
And then the first appearances they did pump really flopped, right? Like,
yeah, Miracle Molly, like all that stuff.
Molly and all that crap. Yeah.
Actually, I think I saw a first appearance of Miracle Molly 9/8, the cover A, on Facebook Market locally to me, and I think the person was asking like $40.
Right.
It's not bad. I mean, 9/8 already, but that just kind of shows
that's a bad crap, but like, kind of goes to show how many DC fans are out there.
Oh, big time, man! Remember Clown Hunter?
Because if everything was inflated during COVID, then that means DC was likely also overinflated, which means, and they were already selling low.
Yeah.
Right. So I just don't think the DC fandom is dying off. I would say there's more of a following for Star Wars comics now than there are DC.
Oh, big time. I would agree with that statement.
Especially 100%. Young people.
Yeah. It's interesting though, because like 20, I mean, I know I've referenced 20 and 21 a lot, but like we did have a lot of those characters, but like you just think of like, Punchline was like a headliner there. Clown Hunter, Miracle Molly, like all these characters that people were like talking about like crazy. And then, some of them, I mean, you could find for pretty much nothing. I mean, first appearance, even the 1 in 10, I think they were 1 in 10 or 1 in 25s of the like I call them like the color design variants, where they had like a color and then they had like the character like kind of look in 3 different ways, similar to the design variants. But those were like super hot on top 10 list. And then now, I mean, you could kind of pick your choose whatever one you want, because they're
like, we just got a bunch of different variants of Harley Quinn. If that hit a year and a half ago, that would have been a crazy book, but like nobody even cares.
No.
And that's Harley. That's like a big character, right?
You know how I feel about Harley? I think she's kind of like dying down a bit. And I know DC people don't want to hear it, but like eventually they want to do some other stuff, right? I mean, I don't know. Comics by the Bay. Hey, what's going on? Wednesday Reviews is also in the house. What's going on? All right, let's move on to another book. And I don't know about you, Greg, but as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is definitely a cover buy. I'm not buying it personally, but I just had like nostalgia, Spider-Man show, Craven, like just all that. And then, it kind of has that, like, I wouldn't say negative. It's kind of like behind negative something. I don't know how I would explain it, but definitely could see this maybe catching people's eye and people buying it just for the cover. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting because I feel like there's just as many, I won't call this a gimmick cover, but just as many gimmick covers as there are regular covers. I feel like we're moving away from solid art. Like, I think Ramos still does it. I think DeCall still does it. I think there's a bunch, but you're always trying something new instead of perfecting what you're good at. Yeah. And I feel like we get away from a lot of these books, and there's just going to be so many of them without anything key in this issue. I don't feel like it's going to have much value long term, especially
Well,
past the movie, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up the art too, right? I've gone on record, even privately, even in like just conversations with people. Like, I like the old school stuff, you know, like I like the word bubbles and I like that art from like back in the day, like the Fantastic Four stuff. Like, that is like, you know, and not just Fantastic Four. You can go to like ASM, X, like just that early stuff. I like that artwork. I don't like a lot of the realism or like stuff that I just think a computer makes. And no disrespect to any artists out there, just that's kind of how it looks. And maybe it is like the art. It's just I don't know. I just like the old school vibe of it. I like the word bubbles and stuff
Well,
like
what
that.
happened? Like anything on the cover has nothing to do with what's inside the book now. Like, look at
Exactly.
some of the shit we're coming out with. We're throwing different characters on covers to sell something completely different in the book. It almost feels dishonest. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's like, imagine children trying to get into a comic book series. They go pick up a book off the shelf. It has their favorite character on the cover, and they're nowhere inside to be found, right? Like,
Exactly.
it's kind of
Yeah.
crappy that way.
And like Swag saying, right? Too many artistic covers. Remember when covers used to just tell the story? Yeah, like that's big time. I'm getting tired of so many variants per book, not to mention homages. Yeah, you know, that's something that I was saying last week. And, you know, Greg, you had pointed out that there's a lot of homages coming out and things like that. And there's a reason why. But like, I just think it's so lazy when people do that. And I get people like them. And there's some that are like, okay, that's awesome. But like, when you see it like 100 times over by 100 different people, and it's just like, I don't know. I just think it's a little lazy. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, totally lazy. I think that's lazy. Homages. I think when incentive variants are just like virgins or like black and whites is lazy. I feel they're watering down the market quite a bit with all this stuff. It's just frustrating people because completionists, they're excluding from the market because there's just so much out there.
Not to mention, you know, and we won't get into it, but like, not to mention second prints when they come out with second prints, and it's literally like, what, maybe just one letter or like the word "the" is like in a different color. You know what I mean? Like, that is also like,
Like the
seriously?
Marvel now with just the blue at the bottom.
Yeah, it's like, are you serious? Like, I remember people last year were pissed, and my biggest thing about Death of Doctor Strange 1, the 1 in 10, first Lyra, I think that's how you pronounce her name, right? When that came out, the second print was the same, except like the lettering of the title was a different red.
Elsa,
And I remember
Elsa's sister, yeah.
yeah, and I remember saying like, oh man, people might get burned thinking they are buying like the 1 in 10, but realistically they're going to be buying the second print. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's
even like, so the facsimiles I kind of understand, but they got to make them differently as well, right?
Yeah.
Bring back the shiny covers are back. We've gone through every stage of the 90s. We've gone through every single gimmick. We've gone through overprinting. We're going through the crash now. History repeats itself. And we're going to be stuck in limbo, I think, for a couple of years here. But that's where the money's going to be made if you're speculating and you're good at it.
I think speculation is going to not happen in 2023, man. I think spec is going to make a return in like 24.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going to be in limbo for a couple of years.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people, like you see it, Facebook Market or Kijiji Market, or Craigslist, depending if you're in the US, right? You know, different countries have different things, but you see it all the time, like myself included. You know, like a lot of my spec books or things like that. Yeah, have I moved some? Yeah, but a lot of them, it's like you're almost giving them away, and people are still not buying them. Right? It's just a different market right now, and patience, what we've preached many times, is what's going to get people to the promised land, right?
So I think the people who are buying right now are buying for their PC because they know it's good buy time, right? And they're buying what they like. So you're starting to really see what people like versus what they were just in it for the flip, right? Yeah. So you're going to see these minor characters, these B villains, all this stuff. You can't sell them even for grading prices right now. Yeah. But those classic silvers, they're still moving. You know, the big ratios, like we had that record-breaking sale I'm sure you're probably going to talk about later. And And like those books, people are realizing, okay, they are limited. Like I'm looking for some books that are on my list that still aren't popping up on eBay, and I know the prices aren't going to change.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different game right now, man.
Yeah.
And Greg, how many times have I messaged like in our group chat? I'm like, oh, I'm so tempted. Like I'll literally send you like 1 or 2 books a day, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tempted. And then I'm like just resisting myself to buy because there's so many good books to buy right now. And I think people are sleeping on it. Like it's just great because there's still people that are like, I need to buy this book now and I need it to be profitable by Saturday. And it's like,
yeah, so it's a patience game right now. Like
yeah.
People used to be able to find a book in the bin, go to eBay and make 30, 40 bucks off it.
Yeah.
Now you either got to really find a steal or buy a lot and piece it out. Like there's just not, it's different right now. It's completely different.
You got to adapt, right? What's that thing like evolve or get or die or something? I don't know. I can't remember.
Evolve or die. Is that what, like, you know that saying, evolve or die?
You know that saying, right? Evolve or die? Yeah, that one. Boom. Oh, man. That's going to be a clip somewhere. Someone's going to
make you a shirt that says evolve or die.
Oh, man. All right. Let's move on to one of my favorite things to talk about, Star Wars. So we got Star Wars Yoda, #1. Second print, though, people. And we do have a few first appearances. I think there's 3, but the first appearance of Bree and then some Jedi Masters. I just didn't want to really name them too much. But when this book first came out, I mean, I think it was 50-50, but first appearances, Star Wars, hey, you know, it could be one that people go after, but I don't know. Greg, I don't know if you're the right person to talk to because when these new Star Wars books come out and they have first appearances, you're kind of like, everyone's going to have them. So share your wisdom here, sir.
So I'm more okay with this for sure than a lot of the High Republic stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yoda has a big following, and I think we're going to be getting a lot of Star Wars universe coming up. A lot of shows, a lot of movies. And I think they're going to have to bridge some gaps in some of the storyline. And I think they're going to use some of these one-shots or mini-series to kind of introduce some characters, see how they go, and maybe spin that in to try to merge some timelines and whatnot. So I don't mind this. I like the incentive as well. I'm a big Yoda guy.
Just, you know, sidebar. Evolve or Die is from Animal Man. What is Animal Man? It better not be like some porno or some
No, that's a DC book, I think.
Okay, all right. Thank God. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I don't remember. So yeah, I agree with you. With what you're saying. I'm a little surprised, just simply because of how you feel about like newer stuff when it comes out with Star Wars and, you know, mainly.
Like we're calming down now, right? It was just like during that height of 2021. Like there's a lot of those High Republic books out there now.
But even now, though,
it's purchased as much. So if something big happens, they're going to be worth far more than what was purchased in 2021.
First appearances connected to Yoda could be important for Mando season 3. Yeah, it's true. Yoda's still Yoda. People still want this just for him, regardless of first appearances. It's true. Animal Man is a series made popular by Morrison. Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure because I'm like, wait a minute, but you know, thinking like on the top of my head, I'm like, Animal Man, what the fuck is? So yeah, all right, good. Evolve or Die, Animal Man.
You are
all right. We pretty much, you know, we were bound to finally talk about this Tosin character or Tucson. Depending if you saw Black Panther, but we got Wakanda. I was gonna say Wakanda Forever. Wakanda, I think this is issue 4, but we got a first appearance of Keem. I think that's how you pronounce it, or that's how somebody was saying it. Keem. I
won't know how it's pronounced until I hear somebody else say it other than you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wait.
I'm just not gonna believe whatever it is that you say.
You know, it's interesting when we get you know, Sir Tosin, because people are still like heavily going after anything Black Panther just because of him. I don't know. I'm okay skipping on this one. I could care less about it, to be honest with you. Whether it's first appearance or not, I don't know. This is definitely not something that I'm going after. Even the cover, I mean, the cover doesn't really do anything for me. So yeah, what are your thoughts here?
I have a secret.
Uh-oh.
I'm a Tosin guy.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
So is Swag, apparently.
I'm a believer of this character. I forget how many I pre-ordered, but more than one of this book. And I think I'm going to stick and get a bunch of this first Tosin stuff.
Really?
Yeah. For cover, right? It's cheap buy-in. So you can say, obviously they said he's the next Miles. He's not yet or anything. But even if he's a decent character at this buy-in, at this time of people buying comics, I don't know.
Would you buy right now a 1 in 20? Because, okay, let's face it, right? The 1 in 25 of Black Panther 3 is obviously the winner. Like, it, that's common sense, right? Not to bring anything down on that cover A. Cover A right now, I think, is a $200 Canadian priced book. Decent, right? Like, that's okay. The 1 in 25, I think Elite Comics, I saw him have one last week. I think it was like $6.99 for the 1 in 25. I don't know. Like, would you buy that book right now?
I would.
You would.
Yeah, I if somebody offered me a sweet trade or I had the opportunity somehow, like I'd be in on that book.
Can I ask you, like, just give maybe like 2-3 points on your decision there, especially with how the market is right now at that price point? Why do you go that route?
I think because MCU kills speculation. As soon as a character comes out, it kind of kills the value, right?
Right.
I think he is really so far away from, regardless of what we saw in Black Panther, the last movie.
It wasn't Tosin.
I think we're so far away from Tosin that the beat is going to keep building, and there's going to be that lore around Tosin, kind of like the lore around Blue Marvel, in my opinion.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think the mystery of Tosin is what's going to move him, and as a character, and I think it's just going to grow over time because a lot of people got into comics, and this is one of the biggest characters that really dropped, and people are going to know that as their childhood, the same way we know like Venom as our childhood. Like that's a massively produced book, but just everybody wants one in their collection, and I think that might be the direction we're headed with Tosin.
Damn. So people aren't. So we're hating on Miss Marvel, we're hating on Riri Williams, but we're on board when it comes to Tosin. Is that?
It's that mystery we haven't seen Tosin. We were all on board for Miss Marvel. We were all on board for Ironheart, and now that we've seen them, it's killed it, right? So, well, it's like stalled it or dulled it or whatever. But I think with Tosin, it's that mystery, like Blue Marvel, and I think there are some other characters like that too.
What would be a good price for you, Greg, to pull the 1 in 25 off right now? Like if in Canadian, let's.
I think if you can get it around the $700 Canadian mark, I think that's a great buy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And it's a long-term hold, right? Don't think in a year you're going to be able to flip it for double. Like that is something that is kind of the centerpiece of your modern collection and you keep for a long time.
That's the thing that I never liked when the character came out, was the fact that this article came out prior to it, and that's what made everybody go crazy, right? I don't think if that article came out, maybe we don't have the same hype. I don't know.
When that article came out, that's when the tension was so high in the comic community. Everybody was just looking for something to shit on. And I think that article, I don't necessarily think it drove that comic book as much as it left a lot of doubt in people's mind because of the talk around it afterwards. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure if that book or if that article helped or hindered the sale of that book.
No. Master Chief is saying, is that the biggest book of 2022? And from a new release standpoint, it's either that or Captain Carter 1 from 2022. I would say those are the two.
Yeah. Well, that Twig variant, like, as far as, but.
Or Twig.
Twig variant, 8 billion genies.
8 billion genies. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would put those three for sure at the top of the list. But I mean, Even Captain Carter, I mean, she got a lot of love and people went crazy. I mean, the 1 in 25, I had 2 of them. I mean, people were asking ridiculous amount of money for it.
But look at those now, and look at where this is. Look at that Captain Carter 1 in 25 versus this 1 in 25 of his first appearance.
Captain Carter 1 in 25 is still a $350 Canadian book. So
this is a his first appearance is a $900 Canadian book, right? Like,
yeah, we'll see. All right. Honorable mentions before we go on to news. Greg, did I miss anything that you are looking at?
I like the second print of Amazing Spider-Man, that Hallows Eve, but the 1 in 25. Just because of ordering patterns right now, shop, second print. If that character is anything, that 1 in 25 is going to be a banger. I think in a 90, it'll be instantly a $50 book.
I had that ASM 14 or whatever, her first appearance in my pull, and I went there and I was like, ugh, I don't want that. I don't know why. I think it was because I had like a big stack.
So exactly. So a bunch of shops ordered a bunch of them. They're still on shelves. So they didn't order a lot of the second print.
Yeah.
But there's a 1 in 25 for that. And I think that's going to be the hit.
Yeah. DOS Comics is saying this is going to be a big book, referring to, that one. Is there any other ones that you're thinking of before we switch gears?
No, I think that covers it pretty well. There was a Sweet Venom 1 in 25 as well this week that I was impressed with. But those are probably the tops of my list.
Nice.
That Wakanda book is what I ordered the most of.
Wow, really? Jesus Christ. Maybe I have to rethink my decision making here.
Just one. It's a $5 bet,
It's true.
Yeah. Is it going to drop less than $5?
I mean, remember Black Panther, what was it, 5? Miles UF4. I mean, everyone went crazy on that. And I mean, I still got 2 copies and I can't give one away. I think I gave one away as like an A-OK when I sold something and the guy returned it to me. He's like, no, you keep this. So
you just put those away, man. You just put those away.
All right, first piece of news, guys. We're getting teased a trailer of Shazam: Fury of the Gods will be released by the end of the month. Now, newsflash, we're already at the 17th, so we really only got 2 weeks left. Not surprised. Here's why. Noob, what do you mean you're not surprised? Well, the fact that we've already talked about James Gunn saying that he has a few announcements by the end of the month to kind of give us, the next little bit of DC's, stages, makes sense that they would release a trailer at the same time, right? Just kind of promote both, maybe different trailers on different stuff. But I'm looking forward to this one because as much as I was okay with the other trailer, I kind of feel like they've maybe tweaked it or, with a certain, the current events of DC, maybe they took some characters out. Maybe they took some cameos out. So I'm kind of interested to see how they play around with it. I don't know. But I'm interested to see the next trailer. What about you? You care about Shazam?
I like Shazam better than some of the other characters that they've been doing. But yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. I don't have a lot of faith, but maybe that's the best thing because our expectations are low. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's why Peacemaker was a success.
That's how I felt about the first time I went to go see Shazam, right? It was like I had zero expectation. Maybe that's what messed me up for Black Adam was I had high expectations just simply because of the actor. But
I think that's what's messing up a lot of our enjoyment of movies.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens with this one just simply because of the events of the Black Adam movie, not necessarily him getting cut, but just maybe how they kind of connect it, things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to maybe a little bit more detail in the movie. Hopefully they don't give too much, but definitely one that I'm looking forward to. Now, my thought is the family is going to show up, right? But I don't think that they're going to have like a major impact in the movie. I think it's literally just going to be him at the end of the day. Because in the first trailer, they did have a lot of stuff with just him, right? Like he was in the suit and he was like, Zach Levi's character. But the other kids were just kind of kids, right? So I'm kind of interested to see what happens there. I think they all have to like sacrifice their power for him to be like stronger. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Greg, before we go on, what are you expecting from this in terms of like, say, like where they go to this, or like what the end credit would be. Like I'm surprised because of the fact that this is the first movie that comes out under their watch, even though they didn't create it, it's under their watch. Like I wonder what they kind of go to for like an end credit, or where they leave viewers, you know, kind of wanting more. You know what I mean?
Well, before I would have said Black Adam in the
Yeah.
end credit. You know, I don't know where it goes now. I think maybe that's being rewritten. We got to get to Green Lantern somehow. But I see more Superman kind of deal here.
Yeah, which isn't Henry. Yeah, I think that's exciting stuff, man, because Green Lantern is pretty much what everybody's waiting for. But again, I hope that they don't just get like The Rock to be Green Lantern and then fuck that up. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Can you imagine? They're like, hey, you know, we want to make it up to you. So instead of being Black Adam, we're gonna make you Green Lantern. It's like, oh fuck, Jesus. All right. Next up, guys. And you know what? This is shocking to me. Just simply because I had a lot of people in group chats and even friends of mine just kind of like, you know, we do a lot of memes to ourselves or answer questions asked. Greg will be, you know, first to tell you about Simpson ones that I do. But a lot of like Captain Planet ones. And I didn't know Leonardo DiCaprio had a Captain Planet agenda, but apparently the movie is promising, but it's still in the works. It's still got a few bumps and hurdles, but at the same time, like I think the fact that it's a Leonardo DiCaprio doing it, one, you got the big name. Two, he is an environmental freak, which is like very shocking to me. But I don't know. There's a bit of nostalgia there, Greg. I don't know about you. Like, you know, we're kind of in the same age group. I don't know. There's a bit of nostalgia in there, man. And they haven't done anything with this show or this property for like ever, it seems. I don't know. I'm a little excited, but at the same time, I'm like, they're probably gonna do it like very churchy or very like environmentally, you know, freaky stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Buckle in. I think this is going to be big.
Really? Oh
yeah. Leo is like my man crush. He's fantastic. He has some of the widest range. He's got it all. And Captain Planet, with what's going on in the world, has it all.
Yeah.
I think this is perfect timing. I think it's the perfect match. Yeah, I'm all in.
Did you know that he was like that crazy like environment guy or whatever? Like I didn't know that.
Yeah. I knew that about him. But I didn't know how involved he was with this project. So
yeah, he's like big time, and he's kind of pissed that it's not like, you know, kind of moving a bit faster than he'd want to. But yeah, definitely wouldn't sleep on maybe a first appearance or even that run, right? Because Greg, you're always talking about these runs. It's low print. Like that run is like low print. There's not many of them. I would assume you don't see too many of them.
That was the boom. You may not see that many of them because it may not be on many people's radars as well, if that makes sense. But I feel everybody in our age group watched Captain Planet. And I feel as a kid, they would have been pretty widely available in shops. But yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying fuck you. I'm just saying I didn't know that Leo was like that hardcore into the planet. Like, don't get me wrong. I recycle, I reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the three, right?
Evolve or die. Fuck the environment.
Evolve or die, baby. Okay, listen. I really need somebody to let me know though, because I don't use you know, apps for comic information. What's the first appearance of Captain Planet go for? In like say a 9/8? Is there any 9/8s? Because
very few.
I wouldn't mind that, you know, nostalgia,
right?
Yeah. Also, I would tempt everybody to YouTube the intro to Captain Planet. Like it is just so like, oh god, earth, wind, fire. The girl that does water, she's from like Ukraine or something. I can't remember, Ukraine or something.
It was ahead of its time, this show, man.
Yeah, and then the dude from Peru, South America.
The bad guys were the polluters.
Yeah, like there's the one where they're like cutting trees to do like all resale or real estate, and then there's one where they got like the paper company just like shooting out paper and stuff.
The
Like,
bad guys in this should live at Hamilton Harbor.
ooh, yeesh. Ooh,
No, sorry, Hamilton.
What else would you expect a guy named Captain Planet to talk about? Yeah, I'm excited for this. I hope it gets green light. I'd be interested to see it. So, all right. Something else that I'm like super pumped about, obviously outside of Iron Man, is Fantastic Four. It's one of my favorite runs, favorite characters. Just everything about it. Massive amounts of first appearances and just great story. I love the art, but Adam Driver for Reed Richards is the rumor. Now I get it. It's not necessarily news, it's rumor, but where there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to this stuff. And a lot of people have kind of thrown their names, by themselves for wanting to play this role. Now, something that a lot of people haven't really talked about is John Krasinski coming back? Is John Krasinski Reed Richards? Is there even a debate, or is there somebody, totally left field? Because let's face it, even though Fantastic Four was announced 2 years ago, we've had nothing, no casting, I think we just have a director, right? Like there's not many things from Fantastic Four. And I love that. The fact that it is like closed shut, I'm loving. The only thing is there's some people that when I hear the rumors about them playing Reed Richards, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, no, because Adam Driver, great actor. He does, a lot. I know Star Wars people probably love and adore this guy. Well, Wesley kind of beat me to it. I think it was Wesley, or maybe somebody. But I just see him at more of a villain. I don't see him as the good guy. What are your thoughts here?
Well, apparently Morgan loves this guy.
Morgan, like,
yeah,
come on, we're trying to be professional here.
Yeah. I think he would play the role well. I just feel it's weird. Like they regurgitate a lot of their actors. When it works well, they're not playing the same part at the same time. So if we wouldn't see Kylo Ren for a while, right? So it really depends where that goes. Yeah, I think he fits the role, but again, it's a regurgitation.
Sorry, Dan. Dan just hates the planet, everybody. Like,
yeah.
Jeez. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I hope to get some information. Just, I don't know. Some of the names, there's been different actors that I'm like, oh, I could totally see that. And then this one just really, talking to people about it, they were like, oh, that'd be awesome. But then I'm like, I don't know. I just totally see this as villain. Like Doom. He could be a cool Doom. I think he's a little skinny to be Doom, but I think it could work. Morgan is saying villain, hero, whatever. Put him on my TV. Okay, settle down, Morgan.
Yeah, we're on your TV now.
Yeah. Newsflash: Dan De La Torre hates nature. I bet you don't even use a green waste bin, Dan. God. All right. Shuri actor teases Black Panther 3 might already be in development. I think it's already in the works. Greg, I don't know how to take that. She's kind of already hinting that it could be already in the works, which means it's probably done, no? Like it's probably maybe half done, or maybe they got together when they were doing number 2 here. Like I don't know. What do you think here?
I think the last news we got is that it was written and cast already. If I'm correct. So this isn't really news to me. I think she's great. I'm happy she'll be back. I'm excited for more Black Panther. My question for you, is Black Panther the carrying series of the MCU right now? Like for a while there, like you had Thanos carrying it, you had Guardians carrying it. Do you think the torch has been passed and this is the most anticipated, biggest movie franchise, maybe even more so than Spider-Man now in the Marvel theatrical world?
That's actually a pretty good question. Can I counter?
Scarlet Witch might be the most important, like, and Doctor Strange, but I think this is most anticipated.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of left at that end credit, especially with that Tosin stuff. Even though I don't think they said Tosin, it's Tucson. What they said. If you put, your what is it? To see the words, I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. Holy shit! But I do think that it's big time, anticipated. But I also think the fact that there's that question mark for the next Black Panther. Now, I did read something about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. We might have talked about it in our chats or something, but there was a report that they were eventually going to give Suri the Black Panther suit anyway, along with Chala. Like they were both gonna just kind of be Black Panthers. Take it for what you will, true or not, whatever the case may be. But that was out there, so we'll see. No.
But we also heard Killmonger was going to get it. We also heard they might go in a different direction. Like M'Baku was even like mentioned.
Listen, the fact that they put Killmonger in that movie and she went there in her dream, I don't think that's just nothing. I don't think that's just like, hey, this is all we need you for, Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he did it out of spite just for the importance of the movie, because let's face it, everybody went to go see it. But I also think that there could be a bit more. He's got a busy schedule with a lot of shit coming out. So
it would be a big mistake if they didn't carry forward with him. I think he's one of the best actors that they have.
Yeah, it's true, man. I would love to see it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're already done. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's already started, maybe not done, but like maybe half done or something like that. Like I could see it. I could definitely see it. All right, guys. Last piece of news before we get into the other two pieces of news that I actually want to talk to you guys about. But Armor Wars reveals Secret Invasion will set up the stage for the upcoming Armor War movie. So remember, guys, it's not a series anymore. It is actually a movie. Why? Because it's a descendant of Iron Man. So Iron Man has to have movies. We can't be doing shows. Like, what? No, that's not us. We're not Miss Marvel. We're not She-Hulk. We're A-list. A. So I'm totally excited for this, but I'm also obviously totally excited for Secret Invasion, which means, though, Greg, you have to watch Secret Invasion to understand Armor Wars. Now, I know you're probably pissed, but at the same time, I know you're going to be watching both of them anyway, right?
I think this is a duh. Like, I think it was like if you look at the succession of what's coming out, like one had to bleed into the other. It's just it'll be interesting how they connect the two, whether it's like through a West Coast Avengers kind of deal, like or White Vision, or how this is all going to come together. But yeah, that was my understanding when they announced it. Anyways, that would be the progression.
Yeah, and remember the reports even coming from Don Cheadle's sources is the fact that this Armor Wars is going to have a lot of origin stuff for War Machine. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they touch on, Iron Man, Riri. Like I could totally see that. I also think that we're going to get Rescue in here. So if you got, Invincible Iron Man, I think it's volume 6, number 10. I know a lot of people go for number 11, but actually it is number 10.
Get the secret variant.
Yeah.
As well.
I think she's going to make more of a kind of some noise. I also wouldn't be surprised if we see the daughter, right? A lot of people are sleeping on that. Harley Keener, could possibly see him as well. And it doesn't matter if he's in a suit or not. If we get a trailer and Harley's in it, that's Web of Spider-Man 1 book. I think I have mine. Do I have mine?
My dark horse for this is Deathlock.
Deathlock? Really?
Yeah, that's my dark horse for Armor Wars.
Okay. I'm sticking with Harley. I think that's a good one, a easy one, a Switzerland pick, if you will. But yeah, I just think that it's going to touch on some of that stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if Riri's in and things like that. Obviously, I've talked about Justin Hammer being in it, and he is rumored to be in it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, Greg. I didn't have the visual for it, but you actually kind of blurted it out. But we did have a record-breaking book, and that's kind of crazy to think that we have a record-breaking book in 2023 just simply because of how the market is going. But we were talking about 1 in 25s, and sir, Miles Morales Ultimate Fallout 4, the 1 in 25 sold for, if I have it here correctly, which I do in my phone, a new record sold for. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, the old record was 40,800. The new record is 43,200 US. So pretty much like 2.5, 3,000, something, nothing, like how high can this book go? Like, is it, I feel like eventually it'll be 50,000, right? But what do you think?
So comic collecting has become very widespread. It's not just for people like you and I, it's for some people who can only grab one book a week, and you get every walk of life in there. So into this world, you're going to get people where money isn't an issue. When money isn't an issue, you begin to want to flex. Yeah. You begin to want to have something tangible that other people can't get. It's almost like having one of those low-numbered license plates in Asia, where it's just a sign of your wealth. And I think that's what this book is becoming. This has become a big flex book. And I think the people with money are going to need this in their collection. I remember when this book was $1,000 and the argument was, think of what else you could get for $1,000. There's no way a new character could be like this. And I feel like that's almost like the discussion we're having with the Tosin right now. I'm not going to say it's the same thing, but I'm saying when you can have everything in the world, it just becomes about you having it no matter what the cost. And that's going to keep driving this book.
Damn. I don't know. Miles is an interesting character, and I don't know if maybe people just know some information that we don't know with, across Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. June, coming out in June, but number 2, right? Obviously. And it's going to be a 2-parter. So we don't know. There's been speculation of him kind of crossing over to like live action, things like that. So I don't know. It's tough to say that like you don't believe in Miles, just simply because even if you believe that he's coming or not, the books and the prices speak for themselves. My only argument with Miles has always been, if you are holding on to Ultimate Fallout 4, the first cover, right? Thinking you're going to get AF-15 prices in like 20 years, I think you're out of your mind. Like, I don't think you're going to be.
I agree with you on the Ultimate Fallout 4. I just think there's so many out there.
Yeah.
That's going to hinder that book.
But where I think it differs is the 1 in 25. Obviously, yeah. I think that one will be the one that is comparable to AF-15. But here's what I would throw out to you is the fact that for that price,
not comparable to AF-15. That's a different.
No, but here's the thing: that that Ultimate Fallout 1 in 25, for that price, you could have gotten a 3.0, 4.0 Amazing Fantasy 15, right? Like,
yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
What would you be happy with? Like, I don't know. I'd probably go old school for Spider-Man, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I probably would as well. I would rather an AF-15, I think, rather than that. But I think this is the beauty of comic books. Somebody probably bought that book for $1,000 and it got them to that AF-15. So I think that's the progression of comic books as well.
This is the other thing too when it comes to Miles. So many 9.6s. Second print, people say third print, but obviously it's not third print. It's just two second prints or whatever. I don't know if I'd want to spend money on a 9.6 knowing how many 9.8s are out there though, right?
Very rarely would I ever buy a modern 9.6 simply because the exclusivity isn't in the book. There's a shit ton of the books. The exclusivity is in that 9.8. So we're creating our own little exclusive market within a book itself, like an individual book.
Right. It's crazy to think that this book, the 1 in 25, was sold in the Five Below
Some
stores.
people found them in comic packs at Five Below.
God damn, what was I doing back then? I remember I always tell this story. I always remember my shop having Ultimate Fallout 4 like stack, like legit like stack like this, and people were just passing them up, man. Like they weren't falling for it at first, man. Like even after like it kind of picked up, like they still had them there, like
a friend of mine has a short box of them.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You see, anytime Miles comes up or there's any like Miles rumor or like we get a trailer or something, what's the first thing you see? People on Instagram, social media, and there's like at least 10 guys that have like 50 of them in 9.8, and it's like, oh, that sucks. Like that kind of puts it into perspective for me anyway on a 9.6 or just anything with that book, right? It's hard. No, when there's a Spider-Man movie, there's not many people that have like even 2 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15. It's usually like 1, and it's like, oof, big flex, right? Like imagine having 2. It's a bit much. So, all right. The other piece of news or breaking news I was going to talk about, I'm going to wait till next week with BC. I want BC to be here for it. So hopefully you didn't spend the last hour just waiting for that. But yeah, we'll talk about it next week. So with that said, Greg, let the people know, man, where can they find you, what you have coming up shortly. I know you just finished Dark Star and all that stuff. So what do you got coming up?
Just a lot of Newbieverse stuff. Find me here. I'm going to be setting up at Edmonton Collector Con on March 12th. So I'll be rolling through there.
March 19th. So a week after that, you're in Toronto.
And then catch me at Terrificon in July. I'm kind of making the rounds this year. It's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I can't wait. So yeah. So March 19th, you'll be around. February 19th. Just around the corner, a month away. So the Mississauga show. It's Mississauga, not Toronto. Yeah, Mississauga show. I think it's at the old. Well, I say the old, but the Holiday Inn Holiday Inn or Hilton. I can't remember. On Mississauga Road there. So I'll be there. I'll probably be joined by Just Cruise and things like that. So Wesley, RP, if you guys are going, definitely great to meet up. And yeah, Tuesday, 9:30 or 9:40 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be here kicking it off. Might, small chance. I'm thinking about a Whatnot sale with a few books that I have.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to do it. I've got a few slabs, and I've got a few books. So I might post the book. I might post a short video. Just trying to get some books out of the way for some CGC money, because I have other books that I kind of want to send to CGC.
Well, so, if you do it, I'll do it. I'll go back to back with you if you do a sale.
Yeah. So. Well, I got my stack right here, plus like 5 slabs. So if anyone's interested, I don't know. I'm gonna post something on Instagram with like if anyone's feeling it. But I haven't done Whatnot in a long time. Just I don't know. I feel like it's easier on some things. It's just easier to avoid.
This is what it's perfect for, though, is if you just need to dump and you don't care what you're getting back, you're making space. Like, I think that's what it's for, because everybody on there is looking for a deal. On these books, you're not going to make money. So it's kind of cut your losses, make the space, and use that money for different things.
And following the Whatnot sale, I'll probably do like a GoFundMe because of the money that I didn't make. And we'll see. But yeah, there's a small chance.
Your GoFundMe page.
Like, hey guys, I lost money on selling comics. Can you donate? But yeah, we'll see. But all right, that's the show. Newbie will be the next Whatnot influencer. No, I don't think my car. I don't think they could do that wrap on my car, man. I just don't think it'll work.
On your bike.
Or on my bike. Yeah, maybe on my bike. Just like
a Whatnot bike. Like a little like Dickie D's behind it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So we'll see. We'll see where it's at. And OnlyFans. Yeah, I could do OnlyFans.
Only feet. I think there's less risk in that.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you got nice
feet is good, right?
You got nice feet. All right, with that, we're ending the show. Enjoy New Comic Book Day tomorrow, guys. If you haven't seen The Mandalorian Season 3 trailer, go check it out. It's pretty decent. And big shout outs to everybody who hung out with us. Pleasure. I always enjoy talking with you guys. All right. Later. Only balls.